Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the E.Y.E.S blog. Yes, it's spelled eyes as in your eyes, standing for embracing your everyday storms. So I changed the name of the channel because I want this to be an all-inclusive channel. I want guys to be able to tune in and enjoy too. So today is going to be a little bit different, and I hope this video finds you when you don't really have too much to do, because I'm definitely going to dig deep and tell you guys some stuff about myself and some of my struggles that I'm going through, as I was inspired by the homework that I gave you guys last week. So I'm not going to spend too much time on the homework, probably like the first 5 or 6 minutes. Hopefully I don't go past that. I'm going to go over the homework from last week, give you the homework for the following week, and then I'm going to jump right into the story time that I have to tell you guys today. Something that's been weighing on me. I'm sorry, guys. And because I really want people to get involved with this channel, as far as I have a couple of people who want to come on the channel and tell their own stories of different things that they've been through. But I feel like, how can I expect somebody to come on my channel and want to talk about themselves and things that they've been through and willing to be so honest with me if I haven't been that honest with you? So I'm about to jump right into the homework. So for day 12, it was come like a child, and the question was, what kind of friendly fires were you caught in as a child, teenager, or young adult? And I said I was caught in a toxic relationship with friends who would, date my exes or just be shysty. I had a toxic relationship that I seen with my parents. It wasn't abusive or anything like that, but they were better as friends, and they are the best of friends now. Getting the short end of the stick, I felt like with my family, I felt like I always had to compete to get people's attention, not because they were doing it intentionally, but that's how I felt. I felt like I always had to be one step above everyone else to get noticed. My family was growing apart. I had to grow up at a young age, and I was feeling less than, and I'm going to get into why I felt those type of things when I get to the story time. Day 13, become like a child, and it says, become like a child again and allow the Lord to adjust damaged pieces of our past. So it says, look into your childhood. What are things you wish you could change or that didn't happen? I wish my parents would have split up a little bit sooner, because they have met some of the best people that they're supposed to be with, and I wish they could have enjoyed that a little bit sooner. I wish I would have loved myself a little bit more. Maybe I wouldn't have took myself through a lot of the things that I did, or allowed myself to go through a lot of the things that I did, and that's also in the homework. Stop looking for love and acceptance in other people. I wish I would have allowed myself to be a child, because you don't get that back. Kept my faith strong through adversity, and I wish I would have fixed me from the inside before. I wish I would have fixed myself from the inside out before trying to love somebody else or bring somebody else into my life. Not, my current situation, but just in general. Day 14, let God's healing waters wash over your past. It says you can't forget, but forgive someone. This week, forgive someone even if they weren't sorry. This week, I forgave myself, and I forgave my exes for the things that they've done. Day 15, the voice of Jesus' blood. When is the last time you allowed yourself to be vulnerable or to hear Jesus talk to you? I said I haven't, but I'm starting to. Day 16, the Lord watches over you. Let your healing be your story. Testify to something. The homework was to testify to somebody this week who may be going through it, to let them know that it gets better. I'm testifying to you guys tonight. Day 17, do not be afraid. There is no torture like inner torture. Break your agreement with your past. Enough is enough. Write down a declaration. So my declaration is not to say that I'm going through anything in these areas of my life, but this is just what I want God to continue to work on in my life. So I said, I declare I will grow closer to God. I declare I will grow closer to God and let him fight my battles and be my friend. I declare things will turn around for the good in every aspect of my life. I declare depression and anxiety are over. I declare 2019 is my year for growth. I declare health, strength, and prosperity. And I declare all chains to be broken for my family and all. And when I say all, that means you guys too. Day 18, stop trying to earn your deliverance. What is God's holiness and God's mercy? Do you feel you're deserving? Why or why not? I put mercy to me is his forgiveness and the opportunity to have a second chance. Holiness, just the fact that God reigns over all and the fact that he loves us no matter what. And just how amazing he is. I said, I don't feel I deserve God's mercy because I have fallen short and lost my way by not having faith and praising him the way he deserves, but I appreciate him giving it to me anyway. Day 19. Sanctify from the inside out. No one is perfect. Walk in your truth. Believe God can heal you even in your broken place. No sin is bigger than the next. He didn't call the righteous, he called the unrighteous. Because no one is perfect except him. No sin is bigger than the next. So this week I'm walking in my truth, beginning with this video that I'm dropping for you guys tonight. I'm trying to hurry up and speed through this part. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the homework for this coming week. As always, I'm giving you guys the homework in the video, but it's also going to be dropped in the description box below. The new Instagram and Facebook for this video, for these videos, and where I'm going to post where you guys can have discussions and ask questions and stuff, is also in the description box below. I made a Facebook page and an Instagram. Those are in the description box below as well. So here's the homework. Day 20. Hear the Savior calling you. Tell God what you want, what's troubling you. Give him 30 minutes of your time this week and go into a quiet place. Day 21. God is calling you in spite of your past. The book asks, are there specific things in your history that have made you feel unfit to be used by God? Day 22. What happens when you're found out? And my question for you guys for the homework is, what is stopping you from living in your purpose and truth? Day 23. The power of a second chance. I want you guys to ask yourself, how many times can you count someone gave you a second chance? Did things change? And look at how many chances God gave you without his love changing. Could you have gave this many chances and still love the same? Day 24. Your intercessor and advocate. Whatever you're dealing with on this day, whatever problems may arise, stop and pray about it. Stop trying to fight a battle that's not meant for you to fight. Day 25. Just let it go. It's time to let go of negative people, addictions, and everything else. We are breaking chains today. So starting on day 25, which will be March 17th, I want you guys to fast from one thing for the remainder of this journey. Regardless of what it is, fast for one thing. At this point, we will be at day 25. That means we will have 65 days left in our journey. At that time, I want you guys to fast for those last 65 days from one thing. Day 26. The Lord is your husband and maker. You are whole even if you're alone. You may have needed someone to define you before, but as the book says, that was then, this is now. Take yourself somewhere by yourself. It doesn't require money. You could take yourself to the park, but take yourself somewhere by yourself. Day 27. God's intensive care unit. Don't let negative history with church or church people draw you away from God. Don't you know he's been good? No homework, just reflect on that. And this homework and last week's homework ties into what I'm going to get into you guys for. I know I said like 7 or 8 minutes. I kind of ran a little bit over. Sorry, you guys. But now we're going to jump straight into the story time that I have for you guys. So I was going to do a live video. I kind of played back and forth in between it, but I just couldn't do it. So I would rather record this by myself and go ahead and post it for you guys. I did a little notebook for myself just to make sure that I cover all the points that I wanted to, because I've been a little antsy about this video, and really scared. So some of this stuff, people who are watching may know. Some of this stuff people may not. I'm not going to dig into everything. These are just some things that I thought that I was over, that have been bothering me. And I just wanted you guys to get a little bit more insight about me and some of the things that I've dealt with in life. So here we go. So so like I said, I'm doing this because I can't expect you guys to open up to me and want to come on this channel and tell your stories until I sit down and be honest with you guys. So today is the day. So I'm about to give you guys a little background of how I grew up. That's going to help tie into the story. One of my friends was telling me the other day that, you know, basically she's grown just like I am, but that she feels like she can't really do the things that she wants to do for herself when it comes to like expensive stuff and all that different type of stuff or whatever. And she felt like I didn't understand. Let me give y'all a little bit of background. My family always made sure I had my needs, but it was scarce in the wants department. I never was that child who had all the new expensive shoes, the new expensive clothes, stuff like that or whatever. My family couldn't afford stuff like that. I couldn't go out to all the different things that my friends was having because I wasn't finna put that pressure on my family. Not because they were, you know, broke or stuff like that, but I knew that they had priorities that they needed to take care of. So I dealt with, I did hair in high school. I did people's homework. I did people's summer school work to make money to get the stuff that I wanted so I didn't have to ask my family for stuff. And a lot of the times I felt like I was left out because I couldn't do what other kids could do. For one, I was younger than everybody else. I graduated high school when I was 17 years old. So I was younger than everybody else, and I didn't have the money that everybody else had, and I didn't have a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes, and stuff like that. So my mom, she did what she was supposed to be doing as a parent. There were times, and I'm not going to stay too long on this or whatever, but there were times that, you know, my mom, she might have had $10, and if she didn't cook, she would say, my brother, she would say, hey, Trill, you get $3, Jazz get $3, and then she'll take the rest and she'll get her something to eat. But she did what she was supposed to do as a parent to make sure that we never felt less than as kids, and I applaud her for that. Same thing with my dad. You know, my dad, he never missed our birthdays or Christmases. If he was struggling, you know, he made sure that we didn't know about it. But I wasn't the richest kid out there. So trust me when I say I do understand when people say like they had it rough. Like, I'm not gonna go completely into all the stuff, but I wasn't just, you know, fortunate to do everything that I wanted to do either. My granny and my uncle, they played a huge part in me having a lot of the stuff I did. And of course my parents, because they would pull together as a family to make sure I had the stuff that I needed. When it was time for me to go to prom, one person bought the dress, one person bought my shoes, you know, but I knew I was on a budget as to what I could spend. Same thing when I went to college. Like, I didn't have it like that. Anybody who knew me when I was at college, my mom sent me care packages, but outside of that, I wasn't eating out. I wasn't, you know, going to buy new clothes and shoes and stuff like that. Like, I just didn't have it like that. And I learned in that process, to sum it up, that to be humble, because I haven't always, you know, had a silver spoon. I haven't always, you know, had stuff. You know, I'm still not where I should be right now. But I learned to be humble in that. And in the process, my heart was so big that I allowed people to use me. And this is where the story time comes in. So because of my heart being big, I dealt with stuff I shouldn't have. Like I said, like my friends dating my exes, one-sided friendships, relationships, letting guys use me while looking for love, which turned into me being a heartless person at one point and leading to my anxiety and depression. So I realized that stuff bothers you that you think you're over. There was an incident. I seen one of the girls on my page. And it's crazy. I never thought to, you know, I never thought this bothered me until I seen her on my page. She didn't do it. But I went on a church trip. And this is not to blast anybody, so I'm not putting names out there of churches, people, or any of that. But I went on a church trip. And for a long time, this kind of deterred me from going to church. I went on a church trip. It was a weekend trip or whatever, and we went to a lake. And we stayed there, and we went out in the pool. It was me, a couple of my friends from the church or whatever at the time, a couple of guys or whatever. It was just a bonding trip. That's what it was supposed to be. We were having so much fun already on the trip. And we went out into the water. Anybody who knows me knows I can't swim. We went out into the water, and we got so far out, we were locked arms, all of us. So everybody was kicking, and the people who were in the group, it was like 6 of us in this ring. 4 of them could swim. Me and another girl, we couldn't swim. So we were holding on to everybody who could swim, just going out in the deep end or whatever. And all of a sudden, I felt a guy touch me. And somewhere he shouldn't have touched me. And at this time, I'm like 13 years old. And maybe 12. And I felt the guy touch me. And I know he shouldn't have been touching me. And my first reaction was to like, stop. You get what I'm saying? Like, freeze. Like, what are you doing? Like, at this time, I'm still a virgin. Like, I'm not with it. And I tell him, like, stop. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's like looking around, and I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna make this a bigger deal than what it is, but just stop. And he kept proceeding to touch me. And when I told him no, like, stop again, he let my arm go. He let like the person on his left and the person on his right, he let our arms go. And I began to like drown because I can't swim. And all I could do was just like look up. Like, I know to a lot of people this may not sound like a lot, but I'm gonna get further into it. But to a lot of people, it may not seem like the biggest issue there is until I looked up and I just seen the sun. That's all I seen was just the sun. And I just closed my eyes. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's it. Like, I was already dealing with so much in my real life. This was supposed to be a trip for me to get away. I just closed my eyes. And the next thing I remember is being on the sand of the beach and just coughing up water. That's all I remember. Just coughing up water. And I was crying. And I was just ready to go back to the room where my stuff was at. And I got back to the room, and one of the other girls, she was like, what's wrong? And she's crying too at this point. And she says, he touched me too. Like, he went under our swimming clothes and touched us. And she said, he touched me too. And she was the other girl who couldn't swim. So, long story short, that bothered me for the rest of the trip, because this was one of my friends. This was her cousin. And it bothered me for the rest of the trip. And I just didn't know what to say. So, long story short, I tell my brother, he's like hype about what's going on. So, it was a whole little situation or whatever. The guy lied and said it didn't happen. So we get back to church the next day because this is a Sunday now. So this was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They bring us back to the church. We have to go to church. So we're in Sunday school, and I'm trying my best to avoid him, because I still hadn't told my mom what happened. I still hadn't told my mom what had happened on the trip because I was waiting to tell her when we got out of church. And me and the girl who it happened to also, we were like this because I was antsy. I didn't want to be around anybody. I didn't want to talk to anybody. She understood what was going on. So it's like I kind of clinged to her until I could get home because I just really wanted to be to myself. I felt disgusted. I felt scared. I felt like all these different type of emotions. And you know what happened? I got to Sunday school, and he smiled at me. He smiled as if it never happened. He smiled. And I couldn't believe what had just happened to me, and the fact that he thought it was a joke. So I'm walking down the hallway because I have to go to the bathroom. I leave out the room or whatever. You know, at this point, I'm emotional. So I'm leaving out. I go to the bathroom or whatever. You know, I'm crying, trying to go wipe my eyes, pull myself together. He comes out of the Sunday school room, I guess to act like he's on his phone or whatever. And you know what he says to me when I go back in the room, right before I go back in the room? You should have just never said nothing. For a long time, I drew myself away from church because I couldn't face him. I didn't want to be around because it was a constant reminder of what had happened. And for a lot of people, they may say, oh, it's not that serious or whatever. For a person who was not having sex, you get what I'm saying? Who thought that they were just going on a nice trip, to be touched, and then for you to let me go so that I could drown because I didn't want you to touch me, and you knew that we couldn't swim when we went out there, but because you couldn't touch me, you were willing to let me drown. So, like I said, I seen the girl on my page, her picture popped up, and I kind of just had all these flooded emotions that I thought were gone. But once I seen her, it was kind of just like, I don't know. And then my next story, I want people to understand whether it's a female or a male. Even if you're in a relationship, no means no. I know a lot of my family will probably watch this video and be like, why didn't you never say anything or whatever? Certain things, for me, I just repress my emotions so that I don't think about it. And hopefully, you know, it gets so far in the back of my mind that I try to get to the point where hopefully I just don't think about it as often. But the next situation when I say no means no. And this is just me just shedding a light on a couple situations for you guys to get to understand why I feel like I needed this journey to be healed. I needed this journey. No means no in a relationship, and I say that because I was in a relationship. It's only one person who knows this story, and that's because she was there. I was in a relationship. You know, you go see your partners or whatever. I had got a little bit older at this point. You go see the person you're dating or whatever. And he asked me if I could bring, you know, one of my friends. And I said, okay, cool. You know, he had a friend to hook her with. She was single at the time. You know, she had been depressed over a breakup for a long time. And I told her, I said, okay, yeah, I'll bring her. We get there, you know, she's out there in the front room and he's playing the PlayStation. The friend is. He's playing the PlayStation. She's out there in the front room with him hanging out. My boyfriend at the time tells me he needs to talk to me. So I'm like, okay. And, you know, the game is loud, whatever. And I go to the room to go talk to him. And if you're a child at this point, turn this off. I go to the room to talk to him, and he tells me to, like, sit down. I'm like, okay, so this must be a serious conversation. Like, I did something, you did something. Like, what's going on? Like, I'm confused at this point. So, he wants to have sex. I don't. Like, I just don't. It wasn't anything with him. I just didn't want to. He wants to have sex. I don't. I say no. He took it as a joke and started trying to kiss me like, stop playing, stop playing. I'm not playing. Like, I really don't want to. I had on a dress. he still had sex with me. When I finally got away, I went running out the room, and my friend was just like, what happened? What happened? Are you okay? Are you okay? And I'm like, let's go. Like, just let's go. And she's like, okay, okay. And we get in the car, and I like speed off. Like, his friend's coming outside, he's coming outside, and I'm just like trying to speed off to get away as far away as I can. And I pull into a Popeyes because it was just as far away I could get before I broke down. And I told her what happened. And I told her what happened. And she just kind of like rubbed my back. And from that day on, I had a different perspective of men. I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop with a guy. So much that I started feeling like the stuff that I was going through with guys, I deserved. So now I'm skeptical. I don't like going over, people's houses when I was single. I don't do that. And I tend to go back to my exes because at least I kind of feel safe with them. Because people are scary. I'm trying really hard not to cry for y'all because I need to finish this video. People are scary. I got over that situation. Me and my friend are still cool. Because she didn't do anything wrong. I never talked to him from that day to this one. I changed my number the next day. I changed my number. And I never talked to him from that day to this one. I've luckily never ran into him. Months go by. I wasn't going out, and anybody who knows me know that's not my normal self. I love to go out. Months go by. This is like me coming home from college one time. And my friend, she says, at this time, she was working at CarMax. So she says, let's go out. Let's go out. One of my friends, he's a rapper. And he's having a performance at, I can't remember the name of the place. But he's having a performance where they're going to let him perform a song. It's like open mic night for the up and coming rappers. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's go. So at this time, I drive to go get her from CarMax. And then she goes home to get dressed. So she says, you could just leave your car. You ride with me. So I said, okay, cool. Like, I love when my friends tell me I got to drive. That means I could drink as much as I want to and have fun. So I drop my car off. And I get in the car with her. We go pick up her friend who's supposed to be performing. So it's supposed to be like us three. So when we get there, he says, I'll drive. Because it's my performance. I don't want her to waste her gas. I'll drive. So I'm like, okay, cool. This is Lily's friend. Y'all two sit up in the front. I don't really know you. I'm going to sit in the back and chill. So a guy gets in the back seat. And I'm just kind of looking like, okay, what's going on? Like, I thought it was only 3 of us going. And maybe one day she'll come on the channel and shed some light. But I'm not going to mention her name because I don't know if she's okay with people knowing who she is. But she's like the person who I was talking about in the last story too, with my ex. But I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I'm skeptical about this guy because he keeps trying to talk to me, and I'm not really trying to talk to him or whatever. But I'm tuning out. So we get to the club that we're supposed to be going to. They're not open yet. So I had my personal bottle of alcohol. So I'm drinking, just trying to get a little bit in my system before I go inside. Because, drinks be expensive. And my friend drinking. They go get them something to drink. We get in there. They buy like a picture of something. We all drinking. I'm finishing my personal bottle that I had or whatever. So like everybody's getting fucked up. My friend has a low tolerance for alcohol. But This is her friend. He was also working at CarMax at the time. She trusts him. We get back in the car and they're like slumped. Like, my friend, she's like knocked out, sleep or whatever. The guy, he's saying he's drunk, so he got his music blasting. And the guy in the back seat, he keeps trying to kiss me and touch on me and pull up my dress and like really trying. And I'm like, stop, 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 stop. So I open the car door because I have to throw up at this point. So I end up throwing up outside the car or whatever. He pulls me back by my dress. The guy in the front seat says that he didn't know what was going on. My friend is asleep, like passed out sleep. Like, she's not moving, she's passed out. So he literally says, at the time, the guy, he's still listening to his music or whatever. So the guy pulls me back in the car and the driver pulls off. Meanwhile, after I threw up, I was trying to get out the car. But I was trying to wake my friend up at the same time so we could leave together. So she's not moving. As soon as the guy pulls me back in the car and the door shuts, he drives off. Like, not kind of gently press the gas, like drives off. Meanwhile, the guy is still in the back seat, touching on me, trying to pull on my dress, grabbing my wrist, putting his hands around my throat, like all different type of stuff. He's putting his hand up my dress while grabbing my wrist and bending it, like really trying. I cried earlier, so I really got to finish this video. But really trying. And the whole time in my head, I'm like, why? Like, just why? And I'm fighting him off and fighting him off. So finally, we get back to the house. And the guy takes my phone and my keys and my purse. And they're trying to get him, because we're getting back to my friend's apartment now. We're getting back to my friend's apartment because he's saying, you're too drunk, you know, we'll just drop you guys off, blah, blah, blah. So we get back to our apartment. I don't have no keys, I don't have no purse, I don't have no phone. The other guy is taking my friend inside the house or whatever. I'm constantly yelling with the guy, give me my phone, give me my keys, give me my purse, give me my phone, give me my keys, my purse. And so I guess my friend hears all the yelling finally. And she comes outside. She's like, what's going on? And I'm telling her, like, just tell him to get my stuff. Like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk about what's going on. Just tell him to give me my stuff. So she gives me my, she's like fighting around with him or whatever. And he says, I don't want that. No way. So I get my stuff and I literally pull off. Like, I back up, almost hit somebody else's car. And I pulled out and left. And the whole time I'm just crying on the way home. Like, is it something I'm doing that's making people feel like this is okay? You get what I'm saying? I never flirt with people. I never give people the assumption that it's something that is not. Is it me? So, fast forward after that situation. I felt like I didn't deserve no better. At this point, my self-esteem was shot. My self-confidence was shot. Like, I felt like I didn't deserve no better. I was looking for love in all the wrong places. I still wasn't trying to go back to church, you know, like I should. Was just partying, drinking, you know, anything to just not feel all the stuff that I had going on. And I got in a relationship. Somebody who started off sweet as gold. Had his own car, was in school, had his own place, and somehow that changed. Like, lost the car, wasn't in school no more, like all different type of stuff. But I loved him by this point. And I stuck around. because I was like, you know what? He's still a great guy, whatever. And then the other shoe dropped. He started taking my keys because I was so-called messing with somebody else. So I was late to work a lot. He would hit me. He would take my phone, like go through all my messages, texting people, calling people. If I would tell him like, hey, I need to go do such and such with my family, he wanted to come, or he felt like I was lying to him, he would threaten to break up with me. And I know a lot of you guys will say, and I used to say it, I know a lot of people will say, well, you could have left. Let me tell you something. Before I got in this situation, I used to look at other people's situations like, oh, if that ever happened to me, I'm going to leave. And then I got in the situation and I couldn't leave. He made me feel it was my fault. I found myself apologizing after he would hit me. I found myself apologizing. I found myself not going to see my family like I should. Spending my money on him. Letting him continue to treat me like that. Knowing he was messing with other females and I still stayed. Going to work late. I'm talking about racking up points at work. And when people ask me, oh yeah, I woke up late. Oh yeah, flat tire. Oh yeah, this. Oh yeah, that. But really couldn't get the keys to my car. Couldn't get the keys to my car. And I stayed. Because I felt like I wasn't good enough. I felt like I didn't deserve anything other than what I had got. Even though the situations that happened to me in the past weren't my fault, I felt like if you've ever, guys, girls, whoever, if you've ever dealt with somebody touching you when you didn't want to be touched, forcing you to do something you didn't want to do, hitting on you, mentally abusing you, even if you've never dealt with none of that and you've got cheated on, you know that sometimes even if you know you've done everything you can do, the thought still sits in your mind that maybe this is my fault. Maybe I did something. And for the longest, I could not bring myself to understand that it wasn't me. And I shared all of this with you guys because I thought I was over it. And when I dug deep into this week's homework, I realized I'm not. I realized I'm not over a lot of the stuff that I've been through. Because I wouldn't keep allowing people to treat me the way that they treat me if I valued myself more. And that goes for family and friends. I really have told you guys about, some of the stuff in this story time or whatever. And I just wanted you guys to get a clear understanding that you are not alone. When I say I have a story time coming up about how I found out that I had early stages of cervical cancer. I have my breast reduction story time coming up, and it wasn't just for cosmetic reasons. We'll get more into that too. But I had to let you guys know that what may look good from the outside, and I'm not saying physically, but what may seem like a happy person is a broken person who has been carrying so much stuff that I never felt like I could tell anybody. And I can't get into everything, but I just wanted to give you guys like a quick glimpse into what I mean when I say I want you guys to join this 90-day journey with me, because I've realized stuff about myself that I thought I was over and I was not over. I've realized things about me, and I want you guys to come along and find out stuff about you, because on March 11th, 2019, I am making a declaration to myself that at the end of this journey, I will be healed and whole, because I need it. I need this journey. All right, you guys. I'm gonna close this video out. Once again, I know I gave you guys the homework early in the video, but once again, the homework will also be in the description box. The description box below. The new Instagram and Facebook for this channel will also be in the description box below. If you don't know how to spell it, for the Facebook, it is E.Y.E.S. So I.Y.E.S.blogg. For the Instagram, it is again I.Y.E.S._blog. And again, the homework is in the description box below. Also, the email address where you can email me your homework if you want to is also in the description box below. Please keep sharing, liking, commenting, and subscribing to this channel. There will be more stuff to come. Also, send me your feedback through messages on the platforms that I have left below for you guys. And once again, as I say in every video, see you guys next Monday. Be blessed, be blessed, be blessed. I love you guys, and I hope that it shed a little bit of insight for you guys as to things about me. Love you guys.